Hello and welcome along to episode 70 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg and joining me remotely is, as always, my co-host, Charles Foster. Charles, hello.
Hi mate, how you doing?
I am very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just enjoying my cup of tea and thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. So, very boring things.
You had a good week?
Yeah, I've had an excellent week thanks to Leeds United. They made my week very happy.
Yeah, they've had a very good week on the pitch, and we will, of course, be looking back on what a tremendous week it's been for Leeds United in footballing terms. Looking back on their last two games, their two wins. We've got plenty of news to go over as well in this episode before we look ahead to Leeds United's next two fixtures. The first is this Thursday. It's a Yorkshire derby against Barnsley at Elland Road, and then it's a trip to Pride Park to face Wayne Rooney's Derby County on Sunday. This is the All Things Leeds podcast. So we'll discuss what a brilliant week it's been for Leeds United on the pitch. But we have to start this podcast by paying tribute to Jack Charlton, who sadly passed away at the age of 85 on Friday following a long-term illness. Charles, this was very upsetting news to wake up to on Saturday morning.
Yeah, because obviously we've lost Norman Hunter and Trevor Cherry earlier in the season, and to lose a third legend in a few months, the record appearance holder for the club all time and probably will never be beaten. He's really a legendary figure. He's a legendary figure in Leeds, in English football in general, because obviously his achievement of winning the World Cup, and obviously with Irish football, with getting them to qualify for the World Cup in 90, and I think in 94 as well. I think qualified with them as well. So yeah, he's a very, very popular, very successful player and manager. He also managed Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday fairly successfully as well. I think he got them both promoted. So he's very, very popular throughout the country, and he will be sorely missed.
Yeah, I mean, we really have lost a true Leeds United, England and footballing legend, really. As you mentioned there, he made the club record, 773 appearances for Leeds over a 23-year period from 1952. Like Charles, he was the definition of a true one-club man.
Yeah, you don't get them anymore, really. It's very, very, very rare to get them, especially at high level. But he was probably a very gifted centre half, and to have him for as long as we did throughout for over 20 years was just a testament to how much he loved the club, how much he felt that the club were, how good the team was and how good the atmosphere was at the club at the time throughout those 20 years. And obviously, by the time Revie came in, he was in his late 20s. So the achievements that we most associate with him are kind of at the back end of his career. So he had an entire most of his career before Revie even arrived, and it is a shame to see him go. I mean, especially because as a part Irish Leeds fan myself, I've got sympathies on that side as well, because I've got family members that are supporters of the Republic of Ireland national team, so they're all good, and I've got a lot of Leeds fans in family in Ireland as well.
Yeah, of course, he took the Republic of Ireland to their first World Cup finals, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1990. Yeah, but he's probably one of the most popular Englishmen ever to go over to Ireland. I mean, not there's much competition, but yeah, very, very much loved.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, at Leeds, he won 2 Intercities Fairs Cups, 1 First Division title, 1 FA Cup, and 1 Charity Shield. He, of course, won the 1966 World Cup with England. So, a true great of a game. He was one of the best defenders to ever play football, nicknamed Big Jack. It's tremendously sad news, and we really have lost a true Leeds United England football legend. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to Jack Charlton's family and friends at this time. This week we've been in touch with some Leeds fans and people connected to the club who also wanted to pay tribute to Big Jack. So take a listen.
Where do you begin to start talking about such a legend? so rare now where you see a one club legend in the same way, playing over 770 games for Leeds United over a 23-year career with the club before going on to play, to manage other clubs and ultimately the Republic of Ireland national team in a transformative way for them, really taking them from minnows to a top nation playing at major tournaments. For Leeds, he won pretty much every honour there was, and was part of a really true important part of the England World Cup winning side in '66.
I started supporting Leeds in the early 70s when I was only young, and I remember Big Jack in the 72 Cup final. I suppose my main memories of him are as the Ireland manager as well. He took over in '86 and we had 10 years of incredible success. Houghton's winner against England in '88 Euros, Italia 90 we get to the quarterfinals, the win over Italy in the World Cup in '94 in America. Not just great sport memories of some of the greatest days of my life.
Well, what can be said about the late great Jack Charlton? 773 appearances at Elland Road, record appearance holder at Leeds United, a true legend. It's been a sad time for all concerned with the football club, obviously with the passing of Norman Hunter and Trevor Cherry in the last few weeks. Norman, what a career. World Cup won in '66, won almost everything at Elland Road, into his first cup in '69, FA Cup in '72, League Cup in '68, Division 1 in '69, you name it. He's all but won it. What a career, Big Jack. Brilliant with Ireland as well. Took them to the World Cups in 1994, brilliant victory over Italy thanks to a Ray Houghton goal, and will just be sorely missed. All concerned thoughts go out to his friends and his family.
Hi everyone, just a quick message just about Jack Charlton. What can I say? Club legend, one club man, 773 appearances, he'll never ever be beaten. We all know what he was like on the football pitch, an absolute unbelievable player. But people like that, they're remembered mostly off the pitch as well, just a genuinely top guy. Is people like that lay the foundations for ex-players like me to play and the generation that can play now. So, Jack Charlton, unbelievable. Thank you for everything you've done for this football club.
Won't be another player like Jack at all in our lifetime. Great managerial career as well with Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday, Newcastle, and of course Republic of Ireland, where he achieved loads. R.I.P. Jack, we're going to miss you. Let's get promoted for you. Take care, everybody. Let's enjoy the rest of the season.
The man was a legend. He will be sorely missed, and I think the finest tribute that we can do for Jack, for Norman and for Trevor that we lost earlier in the year is to seal this promotion, and if that's not motivating the players, then it certainly will be motivating the fans. Rest in peace, Jack.
Last time I saw Big Jack was in Dublin. England were playing Ireland in a friendly 2015. Jack came on the pitch and he got an absolute standing ovation that went on for ages. I think it just showed that he was the greatest English-Irish man ever. Thanks for the memories, Jack. We'll never forget you.
So many thanks to Andrew Stats Dalton, Vice Chair of the LUFC Trust Graham Hyde, former Leeds United defender Ben Parker, and other Leeds United fans for getting involved with that tribute. Charles, you do wonder, don't you, what the club will do to pay tribute to Jack Charlton, because, of course, they named the South Stand after Norman Hunter. There's only one stand left that's left unnamed, and that's the East Stand. Do you think the club will rename the East Stand after Jack Charlton?
I don't know if they will. I mean, they could do, and no one would be agreed if they did. I'm sure it'd be a very proud moment to have Jack's name on a stand. But they could do a plaque outside. They could do obviously they've got Centenary Square. They could do like a wall or they could do a statue of all the players in the team. There's a rumor that well, not a rumor as such. People wanting them to make a group statue of them all, kind of on the tiptoes waving, that kind of famous photo. I think it might be from the '73 Cup final. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong there in the comments. But that would be nice as well. And there's many things they could do, but there's one thing they can't not do anything, because it'd be disrespectful, frankly, if we didn't do anything to honour his memory and his time and commitment to the club. given what he gave, and the effort he put in and what he won with the club. So I would expect the club to do something. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen yet. I'm sure we'll find out, as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I'm quite disappointed that the club, haven't done anything. They didn't do anything sooner to honour his name, because he made 773 appearances for the club, a record which will probably never be broken. And so yeah, it's a real shame that the club, didn't do anything to honour his name while he was still here. And the club definitely needs to do something, but not just for Jack Charlton, but for all the legends of that very era, while they're still here. And as you mentioned, a lot of people, they're saying they want a big statue, and I'd agree. Just a big statue of one of the pictures of all the players with a trophy, or doing the big wave. Just a big statue of the entire every team. To honour Jack Charlton, but also to honour the rest of the legends, so they can enjoy it while they're still here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's. I think it means far more to people. Well, I suppose I don't know, but I like to think that people would love it, to be honoured while they're here. That's why I think the plan for the new training ground is to name it after Howard Wilkinson, which I think would be a nice touch, and because he's still alive, he's in his 70s. So it is nice to, the freedom of the city at the end of last year. That was brilliant because it honoured all the rugby team. I think it was 68 or 74 while they were still here, and obviously, I think. Jack and Norman and Trevor would have been there, so they could have enjoyed that. So yeah, I can understand what you mean when you say that.
Yeah, and yeah, now you can't just help but think, the phrase, "Let's do it for Jack." Let's win promotion for Jack Charlton and all the legends who we've sadly lost over these past 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it was because it's been a bit of an emotional time for the club. Losing 3 such important figures. I mean, I think their appearances in total, if you add them up, must be 1,600, 1,700 appearances between the 3 of them. So they are 3 really important players in the history of the club, and you like to think it would be it would be really kind of poetic end to our time in the hopeful time end to the time in the EFL, to kind of do it for them, dedicate it to them and their lives, and to their families for their loss, because it was they are such important figures to every Leeds United fan.
Well, let's now turn our attentions to what a fantastic week it's been for Leeds United on the pitch. We'll start by discussing Leeds United's sensational 5-0 victory over Stoke City at Elland Road last Thursday. I mean, Charles, 5-0. 5-0. This was incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible, and it's one of the games where I've been watching, obviously, them all in lockdown, either by the odd dodgy stream or on Sky or whatever, however I managed to watch it. And I thought some of them have been a bit nervy and a bit odd. I don't know. But this one is one of the performances which I'm really gutted that it happened during lockdown and not before. Because imagine the atmosphere if it had been there for a 5-0 thumping of a team at such a crucial point in the season as well. I think it would have been spectacular. I think it would have been, when you beating West Brom 4-0 at home last season, levels of atmosphere, the going 1-0 up against Derby at Elland Road in the semi-final, obviously before that fell apart. That kind of atmosphere, I think it would have just been electric. So yeah, I was kind of gutted not to be there, but to see the football on display on Sky, it was brilliant. It was top class, especially after half time, which I'm sure we'll get onto shortly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good game to watch. The first 5-0 win since we beat Burton Albion 5-0 at Elland Road back in 2017.
Lasogga hat-trick, wasn't it? In that game, I think that was a Lasogga hat-trick in that game as well.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Lasogga's first game. He scored a hat-trick, and after that game, you were thinking, "Oh, what a player this is going to be."
I'm pretty sure Luciano Becchio was doing dizzy penalties at half time during that game as well. Yeah, I'm almost entirely sure that was the same game.
I think so. But after that game, you left that and you were thinking Lasogga, he's going to be some player, and then it just didn't work out really. But yeah, for biggest win since 2017, and this, this really is the thumping that we've been waiting 2 years for. I mean, of course, we beat West Brom 4-0. which was a fantastic, big victory. But, it's when you're getting into the 5 and 6-0s, it's a real hammering. And this is the thumping we've been waiting for 2 years under Bielsa. We've been saying it all the time. We're going to batter a team 5 or 6-0 one of these days. And yeah, it happened here. And it was an incredible watch.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did Borough at home. We did them 4-0. We did Hull away 4-0. That was pretty good. But yeah, this is the first time we've got to 5. It was just fantastic. It was one of the most. I love watching a second half, and you get to the point where you just think there's absolutely no pressure on this. I can just sit here and have a beer and enjoy it, and hopefully we'll score another one. That's exactly what I was like with with Bamford's goal, the last goal. I was just there like, well, if he scores it, he scores it. But if he misses it, as the ball came over the top, if he misses it, it doesn't matter, does it? We still won.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I mean, I couldn't really chill out until I hit 4. I'll be honest, because Cardiff has mentally scarred me. So I couldn't chill out. So when we hit 4, I thought, yeah, that's done. It's absolutely done. There's no way they're coming back from this. Although, yeah, do you want to go through each one of the goals then? Because the first half wasn't. It was a bit. They defended well, did Stoke.
Yeah, they did really. So we'll get into the play-by-play of the game then. So, starting lineup, we saw 2 changes. We saw Stuart Dallas and Helder Costa thrown straight back into the starting 11 to replace Barry Douglas and Alioski. And at the time, I felt as though it was a bit controversial. I would have left it unchanged from that Blackburn game because we played so well, and especially Barry Douglas. For his first game back in the starting 11, because he had a fantastic game, and I felt as though he should have left it unchanged, just awarded the team for winning that game. But Bielsa decided to change it, revert back to Stuart Dallas and Helder Costa. And I mean, credit to Bielsa because it well and truly worked.
Yeah, it was probably Helder Costa's best game in a Leeds shirt. I don't think I'm over exaggerating when I say that. He was fantastic in the game. I mean, obviously he was driving up, getting a lot of joy down the wings. And down the wing, I should say, and obviously his efforts and shrugging off fouls, running into the box, it kind of gave us the opportunity for the first goal, because it was an absolute moment of madness from a former Huddersfield player, which really amused me when I figured that one out. Tommy Smith obviously just chopped him in half just inside the box. When he wasn't going anywhere, he was running the byline. The worst that was going to happen, he was going to whip in a cross. So it was really strange to see that happen. But yeah, it was a fantastic run from Costa, because obviously he picks it up and someone grabs his shirt immediately, and he just shrugs them off and keeps going, which is more that can be said for. I don't know if you saw Pereira yesterday going down like he'd been shocked and someone touched his hair. Or I don't know if you saw. Did you see that video of Grealish on Twitter where I don't know who they're playing? I think they're playing Palace, where someone basically just touches him on like the leg, and he just flops down like he's just passed out. I'd hate it if we had players like that. It really, I mean, obviously, Elland does the Elland flop, but that's I don't think that's as bad, because obviously we've had Adrian in the past, so he's been rolling around like a electrocuted fish. But when Elland dives, he just chucks himself to the floor. He just falls onto his knees with someone pushing him in the back. Whereas Grealish and Pereira and people like that and go down under minimal pressure. So to get back to my point, it was nice to see Costa stay on his feet until he got absolutely chopped down in the box.
Yeah,
which I was slightly nervous at first as well, because I didn't know who was going to be taking the penalty, because there isn't a solid penalty taker at Leeds, is there?
No, there isn't really. But we chop and change. We give it to someone, and if they miss, then the next penalty is given to someone else. So, it was interesting to see who was going to step up. But yeah, of course, it was Click, and we'll get onto the penalty in a second. But as you were saying, Helder Costa, best game in a Leeds shirt by a mile. It was fantastic, and all credit to Bielsa for making those 2 changes, because a lot of people wouldn't have made the changes, but Bielsa did, and they very much worked. But the start of the game, I felt as though it was fairly even. Stoke, they were sitting back and hitting us and hitting Leeds on the counter, and Leeds were very sloppy on the ball in the opening few minutes, so that didn't really help matters. But eventually, the game turned into attack versus defence. Leeds United on top, started creating chances. Bamford fired a shot just over the bar, which was really nice to see. Bamford taking shots from miles out, which is something, we very rarely get. So it's nice to see him just take some shots for once. And then on 23 minutes, Leeds United really should have found the back of the net, really. Bamford's shot was cleared off the line as McLean cleared it straight into the path of Tyler Roberts, who ran in and looked certain to score. But Danny Bath, who was right in front of goal, managed to block it. I mean, yeah, Charles, how did we not score here?
I felt sorry for Bamford much more than Roberts, to be fair, because he gets put through. Butland immediately goes to close him down. It chips him. I think Butland gets a tiny touch to it as it goes over his head, and it looks for all intents and purposes like it's going in. I think Bamford even starts to celebrate with the crowdies. I don't know if you saw that on the thingy. And then obviously it gets cleared off the line. I think McLean clears it off the line from Bamford.
Yeah.
And then Roberts has to score the rebound. I mean, I appreciate there's two defenders who go back to the line by that point, but there's enough space that you just bang it in.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that was disappointing. But in the context of the game, I'm not that annoyed about that. In hindsight, you can't really be annoyed about things like this because we got the job done anyway. So,
but at the time though, when we missed that opportunity, it really did feel like it was going to be another one of those games where we dominate the game, but just miss clear-cut chances because we really should have scored this, and it did feel like it was going to be one of those games, but. No, thankfully, Leeds United took the lead just before half-time as they were awarded a penalty. As you were talking about earlier, Tommy Smith sliding into Helder Costa, a Stonewall penalty, very clumsy from Smith. I have no idea what he's doing because Helder Costa really is going absolutely nowhere. But yeah, lunges in on Helder Costa, penalty for Leeds United. Mateusz Klich goes and steps up, and he comfortably converted Leeds United's sixth penalty of the season, sending Jack Butland the wrong way. Klich now has 17 goals for Leeds, with 2 of them from the penalty spot. But yeah, I mean, Charles, this was a really, really cool penalty from Klich.
It wasn't the best penalty I've ever seen, even from him. It was because it wasn't right in the corner. So if Butland had dived the right way, he'd have got it. So yeah, it was. But it was kind of nerves of steel. It was probably the goal I celebrated the most because I knew when we scored it that Stoke's heads of the Stoke team would just drop.
Yeah.
Because they and I knew we would calm down massively as well, and we'd take better care of the ball, take more of our time with the patterns and the moves going forward after that. Because I thought if it had gone in at half time 0-0, they would have got more confidence. Michael O'Neill would have just said, keep doing what you're doing, just frustrate them, hit them on the counter, and it could have ended up being like Luton where we either lose or we draw at 1-1 or we don't get the result we want. So to break them just before half time was really key in the game because that is a sucker punch goal. It reminds me of I know we were talking about the semi-final playoff leg against Derby. Second leg, I should say, last season where we got sucker punched just before half time with that equaliser, and that changed the game completely. Yeah. I still think if we'd have gone in 1-0 at half time, we'd have won that game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So yeah, this is a massive conceding just before half time is a massive sucker punch, and it was entirely their own fault as well because we weren't creating that much, we weren't going anywhere, but they obviously gave away a stupid penalty and Klich bust it away. It's not the best penalty I've ever seen, but it was nerves of steel to put it the right way and get it in. And you could see by the reactions of the players, it was really important. And I was going mentally in my living room. I'm sure you were as well. I was going mentally in my living room.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very big goal, and it gave Leeds United a 1-0 lead heading into half time, a deserved lead really because we were on top. Pablo Hernandez came on for Tyler Roberts at half time. And Leeds United ran riot in the second half. We made it 2-0 on 47 minutes. Dallas played a nice 1-2 with Hernandez. Then he played the ball through to an unmarked Helder Costa in the box. And it looked like the chance had gone away at first with Helder Costa's first touch, but he managed to end up poking the ball home. A nice finish for Helder Costa. And pleased that he got it because, as we've been saying, his best game in a Leeds shirt.
Yeah, I think he was he couldn't believe. I think it's what's his name? Is it James Chester for Stoke? I think he couldn't. He used to play for Villa. He was marking Costa in the build up, and obviously Hernandez and Dallas do the 1-2, and find that through ball, and Chester just doesn't realise that Costa's he's not next to him anymore. He's just run past him, so he's left completely unmarked about 5 yards out, and he even has a second to completely change his body shape, and he can't believe the amount of time he's got when he's in the position he's in while he's onside. You can see it in the way he reacts. He's like, how the hell have I not been tackled yet, or shepherded out for a corner? And then he fires it in with his weak foot, because obviously he's left-footed, is Costa, but obviously pokes it in with his right foot, pretty much through Butland. I don't really know what the goalkeeper were doing this one, but we were talking about sucker punches before. We won just before half time, and this was on like the 46th, 47th minute, so just after half time.
Yeah.
So it was just the 1-2 kind of, in boxing it'd be like a punch combo just to knock somebody out. The Stoke were essentially after the second goal that they had to come out at us, and they were much more vulnerable because they're coming out further, leaving more spaces, which is why we'll get on to talking about what happened after this, because if you leave a space, then you're going to get punished. Everyone who leaves space gets punished by Leeds.
Yeah. Sorry if I look distracted, but we had an ant infestation down in the conservatory, and I saved one of the plants, got it up on my desk, and I've just seen 3 ants just walk across the desk in single file. So I need to sort that out as soon as we finish the podcast. But yeah, back onto the game then. So a few minutes later from that goal, Bamford here struck the crossbar, really unlucky. And then moments later, Bamford with a good effort after a great run, forcing Butland into a really good, strong save. And Bamford, he was having a fantastic game, and I'm really pleased that he got his goal late on. But yeah, Leeds United made it 3-0 on 57 minutes. Nice play from Leeds United here. Calvin Phillips finding Pablo Hernandez on the right side of the box. He cut it back to Liam Cooper, who struck the ball first time, and it went in off the post for the 150th goal Leeds United have scored under Marcelo Bielsa. But I mean, what a finish! What a finish from a centre back. This is an Aguero-esque finish.
Yeah, we'll talk about the finish, but I want to talk about the build-up first, because obviously it comes from the corner, and Hernandez starts to move on the left wing, and gives the ball. I don't know if he gives the Click or Dallas or whatever, and then he runs through the entire Stoke defence to the other side of the pitch as the ball's kind of worked to Calvin Phillips, and hovers. Obviously, I mean, if you look at a still of the Stoke back line at the point where Hernandez is fed through, it is the most comical thing you've ever seen. It's like non-league defending, because it's not for a defensive line. You want a straight line, don't you? You want a straight line, and if you're going to play the offside trap, it needs to be high, and everyone needs to be in line. Theirs was all over the place. A couple of their players were holding their hands up for offside. I think
3 of the players were playing him offside. They were thinking, and he had the hands up. Little did they know that there's 2 players behind, both playing him onside.
I mean, James McLean was playing him about 3 yards onside, and he had all the space and the time in the world to. Obviously, he's unmarked. He picks up the ball, feeds it through to, of all people, Liam Cooper, who's in their 18-yard box for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, obviously it's a corner. That's why. I mean, I was thinking there, why was he in the 18-yard box? Oh yeah, it was a corner. Yeah, so he was in the 18-yard box, and obviously it's a left foot finish in off the post, and that's when you know your luck's in. When you're going 3-0 up that early in the second half, you I think what was it, 60 something minutes,
57,
57, right? So that's game over there. So, well, I can say that in hindsight. At the time, I was thinking, we need a 4th here because we're going to concede 3 offset pieces. But yeah, the goal was brilliant. It was perfect build-up play, and the kind of evidence of why Hernandez is so crucial to us in games, as we'll go on to talk about in the next game when we get to that. But this was a brilliant goal.
Yeah, fantastic finish from Liam Cooper. And it was 4-0 on 72 minutes. Luke Ayling playing Helder Costa down the right. He played the ball back to Pablo Hernandez on the edge of the area, who struck the ball first time and found the back of the net. I mean, what a goal from Pablo Hernandez this was.
Yeah, it was. It was just perfect. He just kind of swept it in. It was so perfectly placed as well. I remember watching it at the time. I didn't realise it had gone in. I thought, when I realised it did go in, I thought, oh, Butland must have made a mistake there. That must have gone through his gloves or something. But it's not actually. It's just he sweeps it, and it's so perfectly placed in the bottom corner. It's awesome. It's just the movement from Bamford is my favourite bit of this goal. Not just the finish, because obviously it's Costa who cuts the ball back, but Bamford not only steps over the ball, he makes a dummy run to drag the centre back to give Hernandez all the space in the world, all the time in the world, just sweep the ball home. Because if the centre half's still there, he maybe gets a block in, or he maybe fouls Hernandez, but because he drags him out, Bamford drags the defender out of position, he gives Pablo the space to shoot, and then it's 4-0, and then that is the game. And at that point, I was thinking, right, how many can we do these for so we can get the goal difference up? And the goal difference did turn out to be a big factor in this game in the end, because by the end of the game, our goal difference had overtaken West Brom's.
Yeah, it was very important win this, not only because, an important 3 points, but, the amount of goals, 5 goals, really did wonders for the goal difference. You're absolutely right about that. But yeah, what a finish from Pablo Hernandez. It was so nice to watch. And yeah, this fourth goal finished a move of 30 consecutive passes, the most in the build-up to a goal scored in the Championship this season. It was absolutely remarkable. Bielsa ball at its best. And yeah, in added time, Leeds United made it 5-0. Just icing on the cake, this really. Luke Ayling plays a great long ball over the top to Bamford, who let the ball settle before striking it first time, across goal and in off both posts, far right post and the left post. Bamford now has 16 goals this season, one goal off from equaling his previous most in the second tier campaign. Fantastic strike from Bamford, this.
Yeah, it was probably his best goal of the season. It was just because of obviously the kind of speculative ball over the top from Ayling in the last minute. I think he's expecting Bamford to just kind of pick it up, hold it up, and shepherd it out. But I think Bamford's thinking, well, the shot's on here, and a worst case scenario, Butland will save it. So he kind of slows his run and kind of hits it almost like on the half volley, and it goes. Obviously, the goals always look better when they go off the crossbar or the post or something kind of aesthetic like that, nice aesthetic like that. And to go off both posts and go in, it was kind of the icing on the cake of a very, very good second half performance. And it really, I was delighted for Bamford as well, because obviously he gets a lot of stick about not being on the score sheet enough. And this was just a wonderful goal. It was like, even if me and you've talked in the past how we wanted to take more shots from outside the box, take more kind of speculative efforts. Speculative. I'm trying to pronounce that one. Because normally, obviously, he's finishing from anywhere between 2 and 8 yards. Just kind of he's doing the tap-ins at the end of moves when he scored. But this is a beautiful finish, and I kind of felt sorry for Butland really, because the Stoke defence really should have been close to Bamford there. But whatever. 5-0, and then that was such a great response to Brentford and West Brom winning, because we were all a bit nervous about the game. We're all thinking if we hiccup here, especially after the first half, where it was a bit nervy, a bit edgy, and then we just smashed Stoke out the park. And you thought, right, we're in this to win it. We are. Yeah. We're not going to let Brentford or West Brom or Fulham make us collapse. Because we are the best team in the form table at the moment. I think that gets ignored. Because since the restart, I think Fulham have had more, but in the last 10 games, we've got more points than Fulham have. So we are the form team. I think people forget that, because Skylight reporting on Brentford being, West London Real Madrid or whatever they're calling it at the moment. So yeah, it was such an important result. I mean, I would have taken a nervy 1-0, and we'll talk about another nervy 1-0 in a minute. But to get a brilliant 5-0 was I know that the squad will never say it, but it was a big statement.
Yeah, definitely. A massive statement. A really, really, big win. And as I said, Bamford now 16 goals this season, one off from equaling his previous most in a second tier campaign. to give us a 5-0 win, the biggest win ever over Stoke. And yeah, that's the fashion we've been waiting for the last 2 years. Really pleased with that. It's the 8th double of the season, and a significant win, as that guarantees a top 4 finish for Leeds, meaning that if we end up in the playoffs, the second leg will be at home. Yeah, I guess it's a win-win. Leeds have now picked up 44 points at home this season. No championship side has earned more than that. But Brentford, they also have 44. Brentford play Preston at home on a Wednesday night. But yeah, 44 points picked up at home this season, which is incredible. And after that game, Marcelo Bielsa said he felt it wasn't a 5-0 game. He felt as though, it was a little bit closer. He didn't feel it was a 5-0 game. But you know what? To be honest, he's right. It wasn't a 5-0 game. It was a 10-0 game. I mean, 5-0 really did flatter Stoke here.
Yeah, I've got to disagree with that, because obviously there's the Bamford and the Roberts mix up in the first half. There's Bamford hitting the bar off a kind of half chance. So and then Click had one where it came to him like the far post, and he kind of miskicked it, and it went wide. But like, so that's 3. It could have been 8-0 would not have flattered the performance. So if he'd have put them away. So yeah, I'm not so sure, but obviously Bielsa's characteristically very modest guy, very respectful to opposition managers. So I can see why he'd be saying something like that. Yeah. But I personally don't agree. I think it would have been worse.
I mean, if we beat a team 9-0 and the other team missed 9 clear-cut chances, Bielsa after the game will probably go, "Oh, it should have been a draw, really." It's just the kind of guy Bielsa is. He's very, very humble. It's worth mentioning Gaetano Berardi came on as a substitute for Leeds in the 84th minute and completed 16 passes. Only 2 Stoke City players completed more passes with 17. Which is just incredible. And yeah, it's also worth mentioning that in this game, Leeds had 5 scorers with 5 different nationalities for only the second time in the club's history. Of course, Click, he's Polish, Costa is Portuguese, Liam Cooper is Scottish, Hernandez is Spanish, and Bamford is English. So only second time in the club's history, we have had 5 different goal scorers with 5 different nationalities. Incredible. It is incredible.
It is incredible. But like, Liam Cooper's from Hull. I appreciate he's got a Scottish family, but he's from Hull. But it's a nice stat. It is a nice stat.
And that emphatic 5-0 win put Leeds in a good stead heading into Sunday's game against Swansea City away at the Liberty Stadium. And you know what? I don't know, but heading into this game, I wasn't nervous at all. I don't know why, but heading into this game, I just wasn't nervous. I mean, yes, Brentford won away at Derby the day before, but Blackburn did us a favour, drawing 1-1 at home with West Brom. And I don't know. I just wasn't nervous heading into Sunday's game at Swansea. How were you feeling heading into this game?
I knew it would be the hardest game we have left, certainly on paper, and I thought it would be the hardest because it's away. It's Wales. We've got a really poor record in Wales. They've got some decent players. They've got Brewster's on loan from Liverpool, Freddie Woodman in goal on loan from Newcastle. Obviously they've got Chelina. He was on the bench, but he's been a good player the last few seasons. They've got Ayew, who's just a very good player at this level. So I knew it would be a difficult game. But it became clear to me as I was following it that Swansea weren't that bothered if they didn't win. They just didn't want to lose. They seemed very happy with the 0-0. They were a bit attritional. Obviously, they only had a couple of chances throughout the entire game. I think Brewster had one in the first half. Really kind of easy save for Meslier. And I think Conor Gallagher probably had their best chance when he hit one towards the top corner, which Meslier palmed over. And they didn't really do anything other than that. And we didn't get that much done either. Obviously, throughout the game, it was just a bit of a kind of stalemate performance. They weren't breaking us down. We weren't really breaking them down. We had a couple of chances. Obviously, Bamford's header's the big one. But yeah, it wasn't the greatest game to watch. It just wasn't the greatest game to watch. But that's exactly what Swansea did at Elland Road. They came and they just kind of nullified us, but they didn't create anything themselves. So the game was a bit dull. It was a bit low in quality, but as we'll get on to talking about shortly, that was all rescued by a certain Spanish genius.
Yeah, it was. You mentioned there the poor record Leeds have in Wales. Yeah, to be fair, it didn't help when Stats tweeted out the night before that Leeds had only won 9 out of 53 visits to Wales. That made me a little bit nervous, but no, I was still pretty confident heading into the game. But as you say, a pretty lackluster game, really. Not too many chances. Definitely for Swansea, Rhian Brewster and Ayew looked very dangerous for them. And of course, on 32 minutes, Bamford had that chance where he volleyed it straight at Woodman, the goalkeeper. But yeah, 0-0 at half time. We needed Pablo Hernandez on, really. And yeah, we got Pablo Hernandez. Pablo Hernandez and Alioski came on for Stuart Dallas and Tyler Roberts. You know what? I feel pretty sorry for Tyler Roberts, to be honest, because he's always getting subbed off at half time, the poor guy.
I think it's just because he knows if Hernandez was fully fit and he would be starting the games, and Bielsa wants to give him that chance. But I don't think he's not suited to the role, so I do feel kind of sorry for him. And he's not really playing playing his best football to his best potential.
Yeah.
So I think we do need another attacking midfielder in the transfer window. So we'll see what the club do about that. Yeah, especially given Hernandez is getting on a bit, but yeah, Hernandez came on and kind of gave the game a bit of a lift. We just looked a bit more dangerous, and while Swansea probably considered themselves to be the better team the first half, even though they didn't really have that many decent opportunities, we were certainly the better team the second half, and we finally managed to punish them, although it took a very long time to do so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, back on Tyler Roberts, though, I just don't think he's a number 10. He's a striker, isn't he? And, when he plays number 10, you can tell, he's always, bombing forward. And, I think he desperately wants to play number 9. He's fantastic at number 9. And, I do feel sorry for him because there's some games where Bamford hasn't been too great. And you think, all right, the next game, drop Bamford, sit Tyler Roberts at number 9 where he wants to be, and he'll have a good game. But it's just not working out for him. He's just not cutting it at number 10, and he's not getting a chance at number 9. And yeah, I do feel sorry for him, really, because he's just playing that first half, waiting for Pablo Hernandez to come on, really, isn't he? And yeah, I agree with you. We definitely do need an attacking midfielder because Tyler Roberts isn't really the answer, and Pablo Hernandez is getting on a bit. So yeah, we do probably need a replacement.
Bogusz is a bit young as well, so you can't really stick him in. And so yeah, I do feel a bit sorry for Roberts, but it all worked out, so we'll leave. Yeah. Plus, Roberts was buzzing by the end of the game as well, so I don't think he was that bothered.
Yeah, and yeah, Pablo Hernandez came on, and of course, him and Alios could just give us a load more life in midfield, give us a lot more control in midfield, because I feel as though when Tyler Roberts is playing alongside Click is having to stay back quite a lot and do a lot of the defending work while Tyler Roberts bombs forward. And yeah, I don't think Click has his best game really when Tyler Roberts is there with him. I feel as though when Pablo Hernandez is on, Click gets a bit more freedom to do all his work, and same with Pablo Hernandez. I think they complement each other really well. They just work so much better. So yeah, Pablo Hernandez came on, a lot more control in midfield, and yeah, we really started playing some decent football. Of course, we need to talk about the miss of a match really on 65 minutes. Yeah, Hernandez sprayed a ball out to Jack Harrison on the left. He sent in a cross, a perfect ball, first time into Bamford, who was 5 yards out, unmarked, and he headed it straight at the goalkeeper. I mean, he should have scored here, Charles, shouldn't he? He should have scored here.
Diving headers are difficult, and I can't imagine that Bielsa does much training on diving headers in training because they're quite rare in games. But yeah, he has to put it to, from the angle behind the goal does him no favours, because he has to put it to Woodman's left. There's so much space there. All he has to do is kind of let it, if he just lets it glance his head, it goes into the far corner and he'll score. Yeah. It's because he tilts his head and he gets it square on his head, so he hits it much more central, which gives Woodman the opportunity to get a hand to it and save it. So yeah, it was that kind of point in the game. I think that was a mid-60s in the minutes.
Yeah, 65th minute, yeah.
65th, right. So it was kind of midway through the second half, and you were thinking that was the chance to go 1-0 up. That was the chance, and we haven't managed to take. And that was Hernandez as well, whipping the ball across to Harrison, who obviously first time crossed to Bamford as well.
Yeah. I mean, if Bamford finishes off, this is one of the goals of the season, hands down. Because it's a fantastic ball from Hernandez, fantastic cross from Harrison, and a diving header is just nice to watch. So, yeah, I mean, it would have been a goal of the season if Bamford had scored this.
I'm not sure goal of the season. I wasn't sure I'd go that far, but it would have certainly been a very, very good goal, and it would have calmed the nerves massively, and it would have forced Swansea to come out a bit more, and probably would have led to us getting a few more chances. So we never know what's going to happen there. As it happened, it was all right anyway. But that we really could have done with that one going in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Bamford, he literally has the entire goal to aim at. And yeah, I definitely think he should have done better here. I mean, I don't want to be too negative on what has been a fantastic week on the pitch for Leeds United, a fantastic win here. And I don't want to be too negative, but Bamford, he just isn't good enough, is he? I mean, he should have definitely scored this. He has the entire goal to aim at, and he heads it straight at the keeper. Should have really scored. And, people come back to me and say, yeah, he's got 16 goals this season. He's got more than Kemar Roof has had over the past 2 seasons. And, great that he scored 16 goals, but he should be on about 30 already, with the amount of chances he gets put on the plate for him. He just misses too many clear-cut chances, and he really should have scored here, really. And as I just say, we go 1-0 up here, and it just eases so many nerves. But, he missed this chance here, but luckily Leeds United did go on to win the game. A last-minute winner here. Luke Ayling winning the length of the pitch in the final minute of the game. Incredibly. A fantastic run from Luke Ayling to set up Pablo Hernandez in the box, who found the bottom left-hand corner. I mean, unreal scenes here, Charles. Unreal scenes.
Yeah, it kind of came off Wayne Routledge was attacking down our right-hand side. Sorry, our left-hand side, their right-hand side. And it kind of got work from Phillips to Ayling, who essentially runs the length of the pitch. He uses click and Costa and does the overlap, and we love the overlap and cut back. It's kind of the signature Bielsa move, is the overlap and cut back. So Ayling overlaps Costa and gets the ball, and obviously cuts it back in. It gets a slight nick off a Swansea ankle if you watch the goal, so which means it takes it just behind Pablo Hernandez. So he takes a touch and then just sweeps it bottom corner, goes in off the post. And it must the tiny amount of space he had to aim at there, because Woodman was already diving, so the tiny amount of space between the post and Woodman's hand, they managed to sneak it through, just kind of nicking the post on the way in is unbelievable. Obviously, massive scenes that you could hear the staff and Victor Orta going mental. Angus Kinnear, there's that photo of him with his fist in the air. There's Berardi strangling Bamford. There's all the subs are on the pitch. There's that photo of him of Hernandez having torn his shirt off, and he's got those tracker almost like vest type things because it was like that yellow, like dark yellow. It looked a bit like Bruce Willis in Die Hard, and there's Jamie Shackleton there next to him as well, going mental. So it was just it was a really wonderful moment in the season. It's one of those. It is one of those kind of sliding doors moments, because you think, if we drop points there, then Brentford make up a bit of ground on us, and we get dragged into the mess that West Brom have let themselves get dragged into, where we could be looking at how it might come down to Derby or Charlton. It might be a final day thing, but as as it is, we've nicked that last minute winner, and that just makes it so much more comfortable, because now it's mathematically it's 4 points from 3 games. That is all we need for promotion.
Yeah.
That's providing, we're recording this on Wednesday around midday-ish. That is very much dependent on how Brentford do this evening, because if they drop any points, then a win will do. So yeah, it's 4 points maximum. So that it really kind of takes the pressure off, and you could see it in the face. And Hernandez says he couldn't breathe for like 5 seconds after he scored it because he was running off and celebrating. And it was great because you saw how gutted Pablo was at the end of last season before we went into the playoffs. I think it was Brentford away when he's crying on the pitch and he's just devastated, and that we had bottled it essentially, because it was I think we got 1 point from our last 4 games or whatever it was at the end of last season. So we really did bottle it massively, and he was gutted. Then it was nice to see him just. Hernandez has been quoted as saying it'd be the best achievement in his career, and this is a man that's been capped for Spain 5 times. He won the League Cup with Swansea, so to say that winning promotion with Leeds would be the best moment of his career, that's quite a statement.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell how much it meant to him, because he scored against his former club, and last season in that 2-2 draw away at Swansea, Pablo Hernandez scored. very, limited celebrations, really. He didn't want to rub it in the face of his former club. But here, you could tell he enjoyed it. You could tell how much it meant to him, scoring against his former club last minute, taking his shirt off, running about daft. It was fantastic to see. He made it even sweeter. And, revenge as well, because Swansea, earlier in the season, came to Elland Road, nicked a last-minute winner. Shithouse a 1-0 winner at Elland Road with a last-minute winner. And, we go ahead and essentially just do the same at their place with a last-minute winner to 1-0. It was revenge, very, very sweet revenge, and made even sweeter by the celebrations. It was fantastic. And, credit to Leeds United as well, because going into the game, there was a bit of pressure. Brentford had won, West Brom had drawn, which is okay for us, but, West Brom still picked up points. So, a bit of pressure heading, from Leeds heading into the game. And, we dealt with that pressure, and it was a perfect response, really. And I mentioned it in the live match reaction we did on YouTube and Facebook after the game. That's like a tennis match, isn't it, between us and Brentford and West Brom? They're on one side hitting the ball to us when they win a game, saying, yeah, here you go, deal with it. And then we've just sent the tennis ball right back, the tennis ball of pressure right back to them, saying, yeah, deal with this now. A really perfect response.
Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed with the scheduling, to be fair. I mean, thanks to Sky, really, because they're always putting us on last. Obviously, West Brom play and Brentford play in either order, but they always play before we do. We always play last. So we always play with the knowledge that what our result will affect the end of that game week completely. There's no chance for it to change. Obviously, we've got the same on tomorrow, because we're playing. Everyone else has played as we're recording this on the Wednesday. West Brom have already played and drawn against Fulham. Obviously, Brentford are playing tonight on Wednesday night, and we're playing tomorrow. So, yeah, it was crucial to get a result then, and it'll be crucial to get a result tomorrow. Yeah,
very much so. But 1-0 win for Leeds here. Leeds' first win at Swansea since 1964. That's now 20 clean sheets of the season, a new league record in a 46-game season. And we've also broken our best run of away league victories in a second-tier 46-game season with 12. 4 wins in 5, 1 loss in 12. The 12th win of the season, and in reaching 25 wins, we've equaled the same number from last season, which was a club record in a 46 game second tier season. A very big win in a lot of ways, and that win leaves Leeds United at the top of the championship table on 84 points. 3 points needed to break the club record, which was 86 in the 2009-10 season. We're 2 points above West Brom, who are in second, 6 points ahead of Brentford in third, and 7 points ahead of fourth placed Fulham. So Fulham can no longer catch us. So we can forget about Fulham. They're irrelevant now to us. They can no longer catch us. 4 points needed from our last 3 games to win automatic promotion. And 2 of those last 3 games are at home against Barnsley and Charlton. So, I mean, Charles, we could be a Premier League team by the end of the week.
Yeah, I think obviously due to Fulham drawing, we can, like you said, we can't finish any lower than third now. I think it's is it? I think I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this. Is it 5 points we need to win the title as well? Obviously,
5 points to win the league title.
Mathematically, regardless of what anyone else does. So we need 5 points. If everyone else wins all the games, we need 5 points. It could be less, to be fair. So it really is. If we can just go out and beat Barnsley and Derby, then we've done it. Then we've won the title, and that's fine. I mean, it's much easier to say that than do it. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of moments in both those games where things are not going so well, as happens in every football match. But it does feel. I mean, I was watching someone on TalkSport this morning with them trying to pressure Jermaine Beckford into saying, pressure him into saying Leeds are already up, and he wouldn't say it. It's like, I'm not saying it till that happens. And I was thinking, fair play. You're not going to say it till that happens, and it's not many Leeds fans at the moment. I think we've done it. So,
but we are very close, though. We're on the home stretch. We just need to cross the finish line now.
I think, we just need. We are so close, and you can feel it. You can feel how close it is. You don't want to let yourself hope, because it is the hope that kills you. So,
and if Brentford lose at Preston on Wednesday night, and Yeah, that means a win over Barnsley on Thursday for us would secure promotion to the Premier League. I mean, we could be promoted on Thursday.
Is it not that if they draw, we need 3 points, and if they lose, is it 1 point we need if they lose on Wednesday night?
I think it's a win either. I think it's a win either way. I'm not sure, but a win would definitely secure promotion if Brentford drop points.
A win would definitely do.
On Wednesday night.
I don't know if it'd be if they lose, but whatever. A win would secure promotion if they were to drop points on Wednesday night. So, but either way, we've got to look at the Barnsley game and think, right, we need to win that. I think Bielsa's going to look at all 3 games and think we need to win all of them. Leave nothing to chance. I'm looking forward to, hopefully, if everything goes well, I'm looking for the Charlton game to be a kind of glorified friendly where it doesn't really matter what happens in the game, and we can just, chuck Jamie Shackleton and Robbie Gotson and Jordan Stevens and just give everybody a run out. That is the scenario I'd like to do, and just see what all the youth players can do, because I would love it if we were to pick up, if 3 points in the next game, and if necessary an extra point at Derby, although I'm hoping we'll just need the Barnsley result, given I hope Brentford slip up, but if Brentford don't slip up, then we'll have to get a draw at Derby, and I'm looking forward to Wayne Rooney's face when we secure promotion at Pride Park. That would be brilliant.
I mean, how are we feeling? Because we could be a Premier League team this week. How are we feeling? Because you don't want to say it, but we are essentially there. 4 points needed from the last 3 games, 2 of them at home against Barnsley and Charlton, and the other away at Derby.
We're not there
3 times this season. Yeah, I know, but how are you feeling knowing that we could be a Premier League team at the end of the week? How are you feeling?
In a word, apprehensive. because it's still not if we win the Barnsley game, then I'll be there with you. I'll feel much more confident that it's absolutely finished, it's done. But until we need that extra 3 points, because we need to keep the gap going. Because I think if we get 3 more points, Brentford will probably give up anyway if we beat Barnsley, because there's no point chasing us at that point. And I think they'll see West Brom as the weaker of the two, and they'll try and pounce on them. And fair play, because West Brom got 2 draws in the last 2 games, so they are the weakest side in the top 4 for the form, I think. So they'll be looking at West Brom and not us. So I think if we beat Barnsley, then I'll be. But at the moment, I'm just apprehensive. I want the Barnsley game to be full time. I want to have the 3 points. I want to get over that hurdle. If we. Sorry,
I'm gonna put you on the spot here, mate. Before Brentford play against Preston tonight, and before we play Barnsley, are we going to do it? Yes or no?
As in, are we going to win the league or are we going to get promoted?
Are we going to win promotion? One word, yes or no?
I'm going to go yes. I'm going to be optimistic about it. I'm going to say yes because honestly, if we don't do it from here, I'm going to have to find a new hobby because I'm going to jump off a building.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, hopefully you're right, and hopefully Leeds United do it just for your sake.
I'm of course joking. I'm neither going to stop following Leeds or commit suicide. That was of course just banter.
Yeah, but hopefully Leeds United can do it. I know it's not hard to get carried away, but let's try to take it one game at a time, shall we? Let's try to take it one game at a time. And we of course move on to that game against Barnsley at Elland Road on Thursday. We'll preview that Yorkshire derby later on in the show. So let's have a look at some news now then. And we have to start with the big news, and that is that Leeds United midfielder Calvin Phillips will be out for up to 5 weeks after picking up a knee injury during Sunday's 1-0 win away at Swansea. Charles, Phillips is out for the rest of the season. How are we feeling about that?
Not pleased. Obviously, he's kind of crucial to the way we play. You could see it in the second half of Swansea. He had his knee kind of heavily strapped up, so he clearly had some kind of, I don't know if he's got a little bit of muscle damage or hopefully it's just, like a strain or something like that. Nothing too serious.
I mean, he played the game out though, didn't he? He came out in the second half with strap all over his knee and finished the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, knee injuries generally are much more serious than 5 weeks. So he's probably just, sprained something or overly stretched something. in his knee. He'll need to rest. It's a bit disappointing. I think Bielsa will probably just stick Ben White in midfield and put Brady in to cover it for the last 3 games. I personally wouldn't do that. I don't think we should disrupt the back 4. I think it's fine as it is. I think we should blood either McCalmont or Gotts will be my choice. Probably Gotts. I think he's probably closer to. People are saying put like Click there, but Click won't be able to do the job. I don't think Shackleton can do the number 4 job either. I think Shackleton's the number 6. He can do the Click role. I don't think he can do the Calvin role. I would go with Gotts personally. He was good against Arsenal.
He didn't play the Phillips role against Arsenal though. Gotts is more attacking.
Gotts can play the DM role as well, mate. I've seen him play it for the under 23s a few times. So did he not? Did he play further forward in the Arsenal game?
Yeah, he played alongside Click in the Arsenal game.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, fair enough. If he did play the Click role, but I've seen him play the DM role in other 23s games at Elland Road and at Tadcaster. So he has played there before in a slightly deeper role. I think he can do it. McCalmont has definitely done the DM role. He did it at Stoke in the Cup in the season, so he could do that again if need be. I wouldn't disrupt the back line. I think we've had the defensive unit is so solid at the moment. It's so good. I wouldn't disrupt that. But obviously Bielsa quite likes Ben White in midfield, so we'll see. Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, Bielsa's already come out in his press conference this week and said that Ben White will play midfield.
Yeah.
And Bavard will go into centre back. Which has worked this season. It has worked this season. And we'd go with it, and I'm pretty confident against Barnsley and Charlton and Derby with that anyway. But I'm with you. Personally, I wouldn't disrupt the back 4, and I'd probably put McCalmont in CDM. I think he's a fantastic replacement for Calvin Phillips. That's his role in the under 23s, is that defensive midfield spot for McCalmont. So I think he would be a fantastic replacement for him. But Bielsa already said that Ben White will play in midfield and Bavard will be at centre back. So we'll just have to see how that works in these last 3 games. But are you worried without Calvin Phillips heading into these last 3 games? Are you quite worried?
I think our record without Phillips this season is 4 wins, 2 defeats. So it's positive, but still got the 2 defeats in there.
Yeah.
From when he's been suspended or picked up an injury. I'm slightly concerned it will, but I mean, Barnsley are bottom of the league. They are bottom of the league. The last 3 games are us, Forest, and Brentford. So the odds of them picking up enough points to escape the relegation zone are slim to none, really. So obviously, it is still the Yorkshire derby. They'll be playing for pride because for some reason they consider us their rivals, even though Rotherham are probably closer to their rivals than we are. So they'll be well up for it, but. Obviously, we've got Clark-Adore and Alex Mowatt and Appleham coming back, so that'll add a bit of extra kind of spice to it. I can't see anything but a Leeds winning this game, to be fair. And I know it sounds arrogant saying that, but they are where they are for a reason. We are where we are for a reason, and I think we should be turning them over. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'm confident heading into these last 3 games without Phillips. Because at home against Barnsley, we should win. Derby, nothing to play for. Charlton, they have something to play for, but who knows? By the time we come to play Charlton next week, they may already have survived and they may have nothing to play for. So, I'm confident heading into these last 3 games without Calvin Phillips. Of course, it won't be, as plain sailing as it has been, but I think we'll cut fine without Calvin Phillips. I just feel really sorry for Phillips though, because of course he's a Leeds lad, and he's playing for his boyhood club. He's living out his dream, and of course he would have wanted to be there on the pitch, helping Leeds United secure promotion to the Premier League. But of course, he's not going to be on that pitch now for the last 3 games, and he's not going to be on the pitch to help Leeds potentially win promotion to the Premier League. I do just feel really sorry for Calvin Phillips.
I feel gutted for him because I would love him to be on the pitch if we do it. I'm going to keep it if, but I do think we will, as I previously said in the episode. I can't backtrack on that now. I think we can do it. So yeah, I am gutted for him, and obviously he did that Instagram post where he was saying that he would be on the sidelines but he's done his job. He's done 43, well not 43 because he's been out for a bit, but he's done nearly the entire season. If he's been in the team, he's earned it, and it's time for the rest of the lads to do what he can't really and get us over the line. We've got enough without him. we can do it without him, and I'll be delighted for him if he's on the pitch on crutches or whatever he is when we're celebrating. I'd love him to be there.
In his full kit, John Terry style or no?
Yeah, proper. No, but unlike John Terry, he'll have actually earned it. So.
Yeah.
Unlike John Terry, he's not done very questionable things. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel sorry for Callum Phillips. I'm sorry that, he can't be on the pitch for us to potentially win promotion. But, he's going to be there in the ground anyway. He's going to be on the pitch to celebrate if and when we do win promotion. So, hopefully the team will do it for Callum Phillips. And, of course, for Jack Charlton, other legends who we've lost over these past few months. We were talking about who could replace Calvin Phillips. We were saying, our preferred option is to keep the back line as it is and play Gotts or McCarmont. Speaking of Calvin Phillips replacements, 28-year-old midfielder Adam Forshaw looks to be on the brink of return after his long spell on the sidelines. He's looking very well and will return to training in the coming weeks. Back in time for pre-season. Forshaw, are you looking forward to seeing him return?
Yeah, it's like he's only made 7 appearances this season, so it's kind of weird that we haven't seen him in so long. He's been kind of like the ghost at the feast, like the kind of hidden figure. I'm sure he'll be gutted that he hasn't been able to give more at the campaign, but he's nearly back fit now, and it'd just be good to have another option in midfield.
Yeah,
another kind of senior experienced midfielder to come
definitely
on to affect the game. So I will be happy to see him back, even though I wouldn't personally start him above Click or Phillips or Hernandez or whoever's playing it's never harmful to have an experienced midfielder, that you're able to bring on.
Yeah. I mean, in this situation, with Phillips out now, Adam Forshaw would be that perfect replacement in that CDM spot. Yes, he's been questionable in that position at times, but, he is that perfect replacement. And, I feel really sorry for Adam Forshaw because he had a really good start to the season. And, just picked up an unfortunate injury, couldn't quite get over it. But, it looks like he's got over it now. He looks very, very fit and well. And he looks like he's going to return very soon, which is good to see. I'm looking forward to him returning. We're getting up to almost a year since he last played football, aren't we? Like 2 months off a year since he last played for Leeds United. I think it was that Barnsley game, wasn't it? Back in was it September against Barnsley away from home? It was that game, wasn't it, where we were like, "Oh, Forshaw is going to be back for this game," and he wasn't, and we haven't seen him since. So, glad that Forshaw's coming back. Can you see Forshaw staying at the club, though? Especially if we go up, can you see Forshaw remaining at Leeds United?
I think he probably will do. I imagine we got him from Middlesbrough, so he'll be on decent wages because they were in the Premier League. So they'll be on decent wages. But once we go up, we'll have a lot more money, and if any of these buyouts happen with PSG or whatever, or I'm saying they're going to happen, but if we get bought out or invested in, then we'll be able to afford to keep him on the books. And he's a useful option. He's 28, so he's got another probably 3-4 years of decent decent football. I'm trying to say, I don't know if I can get it out. Decent football in him. He's got another 4 years of it. So I think we should keep him on the books because
so do I. I mean,
he's just a good option.
He's a good option. He's a good squad player. And, he's fine being second fiddle to Calvin Phillips because, if we go up and Adam Forshaw leaves, Calvin Phillips is going to be the starting midfielder. And it'll be very hard to get, a quality midfielder, and try and convince him to come to Leeds to be second choice. Adam Forshaw is at the club right now. He's happy here and he's fine being second choice. So, I'd definitely keep Adam Forshaw and, just fingers crossed he keeps himself fit. Moving on, and Leeds United announced on a Tuesday that 19-year-old defender Oliver Casey has signed a new contract with the club, putting pen to paper on a 3-year deal running to the summer of 2023. Charles, Leeds tying promising youngsters down to long-term contracts. It's some more good news, some more good stuff to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think he made his debut in the Huddersfield game before the lockdown. I think that was his first appearance for the club, senior level anyway. So, he's a good centre half. Kind of him and I think it's Charlie Cresswell in the under-18s I've been impressed with. in the youth ranks for centre half, and yeah, it's nice to get people on kind of long-term deals, because we've been poached a lot in the past of decent talent. I mean, Fabian Delph and James Milner come to mind immediately. Aaron Lennon as well. So and Danny Rose, to be fair. So we've had a lot of youth talent, and Lewis Cook. We've had a lot of youth talent poached off us. So to secure someone down for 3 years, it's good. I mean, hopefully we'll be a Premier League club, and that means there won't be many clubs who will be able to offer him much, kind of better terms. Yeah, I would like to see a few more players get a run at, especially if we can manage to secure, depending on how the results go this week. If we secure promotion against Barnsley, then I would like to see a few more youngsters get run outs.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, fantastic news that Oliver Casey has been tied down to a long-term contract. Another good thing from the club. And yeah, we'll move on from that elsewhere. The Athletic, they are reporting that 5 substitutes are here to stay for next season. How do we feel about this news?
I'm not a fan of it, really. I'm more annoyed about the water breaks, to be fair, because I think the water breaks are just a huge advantage in games, because they just stop momentum dead. If you're the team of the ascendancy and the water break comes along, then you are the momentum completely. If you look at the stats, the momentum swings where completely once water breaks have happened. So I'm not a fan of that at all. But 5 subs tends to favour bigger squads, so your top 6 clubs in the Premier League will be delighted with that. Smaller squads, like we have a very small squad, so we don't often use all of our subs. So I don't think it benefits us, other than maybe allowing Bielsa to always bring Hernandez on without really, using up too many of the substitutes, because he can just bring out Hernandez and Alioski on at half time in every single game, and we still have 3 subs left. So that is kind of useful, but I don't think we should muck about. The rules are the rules for a reason. There's 3 subs, so that you can't just change your team completely during a game and recover from mistakes. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's the Premier League, isn't it? I'm hopeful that it will just be next season because of COVID, and after that they'll get rid of it.
Do you think it's worked well, the 5 substitution rule?
I think it's been taken advantage of well. I think we've taken advantage of it on several occasions. I
mean, is it necessary, do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think it's not anymore. Maybe the first couple of games, but not now. Where 6 games in with 3 games left, it's not necessary now. The players are back into the swing of playing midweek game, weekend game, so they don't need the water breaks. The weather's not hot anyway. Nowhere. I know it's July, but the weather is not hot. It's like room temperature outside. It's been raining in a couple of games. Players do not need water breaks. They're not that tired that they need 5 substitutions. They're just not. And they certainly won't be next season. But if that's the rule the Premier League want to put in, then we'll just have to try and take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the last few games of this 2019-20 season, yes, have 5 substitutions and water breaks. I think that's a decent idea just to get back into the swing of it. But heading into the next season, for the 2021 season, then just we don't need it. Just go back to normal. And yeah, you know what? I'm not a fan of it either. I'm not a fan of teams swapping half of their outfield players, late on in the game. Because they can easily do that. They can set out a team, grind out, have it 0-0, grind out the game, have it 0-0 late on in the last 5 minutes, swap half of their outfield players, and then just go on and win the game with a load of fresh players on the pitch. I'm not really.
If you're Liverpool or Man City or Chelsea, you can just chuck 5 like wingers or strikers on the pitch at the end of the game and just go for it and win the game.
I'm not really a fan of that idea. I think it's interesting how it needs to work within 3 breaks, but 3 stoppages. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of it. And I think for next season, maybe have it for the first few weeks or whatever. But once this COVID-19 thing passes, then just scrap it. Just have it back to normal rules. I don't think it's necessary at all, really. So yeah, moving on. We've received news on the summer transfer window finally. And the Premier League summer transfer window has, of course, been delayed, and it will run from 10 weeks from July the 27th to October the 5th, and then a domestic-only transfer window from October the 5th to October the 16th will happen for Premier League clubs to sign players from the EFL. It's interesting, this news. Of course, 10 weeks. I think it's shorter than your usual summer transfer window, which, it's no surprise there, really. But, we have word now. July the 27th is when teams will be able to sign players, and when Leeds United are in the Premier League, we'll be able to sign players from then, hopefully.
Stop saying stuff like that.
A domestic-only transfer window from the 5th to the 16th of October. That's fairly interesting.
I don't really know why they're doing that, to be honest, because obviously you got that 10 weeks in which you can sign domestic players anyway. So maybe it's just to give teams a bit of extra time at the end of a transfer window if they need it to, sign players from within the country, or if they're scouting players for a bit longer. I don't really know why they've done that, but it's fine if we need to take advantage of it. Then I'm sure we'll be happy to have it there. But I don't know what you think. I don't really see the point in it. I think the standard transfer window is kind of enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it over the years. Our transfer window shuts, and then the European transfer window, it's still going on for a few days afterwards, or a week afterwards, or whatever. So I've never understood why our transfer window closes so early on, and then that leaves opportunity for European teams to steal all our players. I never understood that, but it is interesting having a domestic only transfer window. I feel as though it would make more sense if it was a transfer window, an extended transfer window to sign players out of the country, because that's a lot harder, really. If you think about it, it'll be a lot harder to sign players from other countries because, with all the COVID-19 stuff, traveling isn't really the easiest at the moment. And so I feel as though, an extra week there, an extra week or two there for doing deals for players, abroad. I feel as though that would have been made a lot more sense. But domestic only transfer window, that's it's a bit strange, and I'm not sure a lot of deals will happen in there. Of course, lower leagues, a lot of deals will happen then. But will Premier League clubs be signing players from League One and League Two? No chance. They'll do a lot of their business in the 10-week window from July the 27th. Domestic only transfer window. So a little bit weird in my opinion, and I'm not sure why it's there. Just have the window open for an extra week. No?
Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And finally, as expected, Leeds United's trip to Pride Park to face Derby County has been selected for live TV broadcast on Sky Sports, and the game will now take place at 2 p.m. on Sunday, the 19th of July, 2020. Well, let's now look ahead to Leeds United's next game, which is this Thursday. It's a Yorkshire derby against Barnsley at Elland Road, kicking off at the ridiculous time of 5 p.m. Barnsley, the bottom of the league, 24th on 43 points, 3 points from safety. Charles, we really should be putting this team to the sword.
They're poor. They're bottom of the league for a reason. They've got horrendous goal difference. Stoke hammered them 4-0 and we hammered Stoke 5-0. So I know that's not how it works, but you'd like to think if we can turn Stoke over that badly, then we just have to kind of turn up. Apparently their manager likes playing players out of position, much to their detriment. They've been all right since the restart. To be fair, I think they've got 9 or 10 points in their 6 games, so they're playing okay, but they're mainly getting draws. They're not winning games very often. So
a lot of draws.
So the draws aren't what they needed. They needed wins, and I think they'll be aware that it's pretty much over. Their time in the Championship is once again over until next season when they get promoted back, because I have no idea what's going on with them in League One. Them and Rotherham just get relegated in the Championship every year and then get promoted back. They need their own mini league, really. So only Wigan, to be fair, Wigan are a bit more stabilised. They are not. Barnsley aren't a great team. They've got a few ex-Leeds lads in there. They've got Mowat and they've got Clark Adome and they've got Applehalm, and they signed a lot of lads from the youth system. But so they don't really have experienced players, apart from Mo, obviously who's a bit older, but they've got quite a young team. So I expect us to turn up and beat them, because I know we kind of let ourselves down with Luton a bit at home, which we really should have picked up points in, but we've really got to turn up and just turn on the style, just get an early goal, and it'll be all sorted. No worries, and then we can all relax.
You mentioned Barnsley's form there. I mean, they are very inconsistent. 2 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses from the last 8 league games. 2 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss since the restart. A lot of draws, and I was thinking, looking at the form, I'm thinking they're getting a lot of draws here. Picking up a few points. Why at the bottom of the league? But yeah, they're just not getting enough wins at the moment. That's their problem. They're just very inconsistent. And yeah, as you mentioned, the team, a lot of ex-Leeds players, a lot of Leeds youngsters in there, and Appa Halman, Clark Adore. Very young team, and they're just very inconsistent at Barnsley. What kind of a game are you expecting heading into this Yorkshire derby?
I don't really know, because Barnsley play kind of a high energy style as well. They're not really like your Cardiffs. They're not like your Lutons or Stokes, where they'll just sit back and absorb pressure. They tend to go out and have a go and play football. So, but they must be aware that if they try to out football us, they're going to get battered, because they just will. So I really, and they'll know that teams have come to Elland Road and sat back and got points, like Luton did, like Wigan did. So I think they'll probably come out, because they have to win. They can't afford to draw the game. They really can't afford to draw it. So if they want any chance, they've got to win the last 3 games, which would do us a massive favour, because they're playing Brentford as well. So I think they'll come. I think they'll come out and try and have a go. But I think if we end up putting 2 past them, in the first half, or even throughout the game, even in the start of the second half or whatever, I think their heads will just drop, because they've conceded a lot this season. They'll know that they'll essentially be down. They know we need to win this game as well, so they'll be expecting us to come out and go hell for leather at them. So I expect it to be entertaining. Is the word I would use. I expect it to be an entertaining game.
Definitely.
It's a derby. It's a derby as well. And the players will know each other. The ex-Leeds lads will know the current Leeds squad as well. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It will be very interesting. Top of the league versus bottom of the league. You always go into these games thinking, top of the league team, they're going to absolutely blitz them. But bottom of the league, they have nothing to lose, really. They have nothing to lose, so they're just going to come at us. And we can't take them lightly. We can't disrespect them. Yes, they're bottom of the league, but we can't take them lightly. It's not going to be an easy game. So Yorkshire derby, Barnsley need the points. They're not just going to roll over, and they'll make it a reasonably difficult game, won't they?
Yeah, they'll try their utmost. I mean, if for Yorkshire pride, if nothing else, because they'll want to turn over Leeds on road, so they will turn up with the aim of beating us. I'm expecting it to be entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I say looking forward to it. I'm dreading it massively, but if the whole season wasn't riding on the game, I'd be looking forward to it.
But ultimately, Leeds United should win. Yeah, as I say, we're top, they're bottom. We again just need to focus on ourselves and just do the job in hand, do what we need to do to just do our job. We spoke about it earlier, the lineup for Leeds United. What were you expecting?
Unchanged. Obviously, other than Calvin Phillips being out, I think Ben White will move into midfield, Berardi will be in, and the rest of the squad will be the same. I'd be surprised if it was any different.
Yeah, I agree as well. Of course, if there's any other last-minute injuries picked up, then those guys will be replaced. But I'm just fully expecting Ben White to be in midfield, Berardi at centre-back, and the rest of the squad left unchanged. Let's have a look at whoscored.com. Let's see what they say about Barnsley. So Barnsley on whoscored.com have 0 strengths. So a good start. They are weak at keeping possession of the ball, weak at aerial duels, weak at defending counter-attacks, weak at defending set pieces, very weak at finishing scoring chances, very weak at avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, and very weak at avoiding individual errors. So maybe a few penalties. We of course got a penalty away at Barnsley earlier on in the season. So who knows? We could get another penalty awarded to us here. Barnsley style of play. So, what are you saying?
I was just saying, so basically they're just weak at playing football because the things you've listed there pretty much cover most of the game.
Yeah, they're just a poor side. Barnsley style of play, they take long shots, they control the game in the opposition's half. It's not going to happen here. I doubt Mowat's going to control the game at Elland Road. Barnsley attack down the right, play the offside trap. They have a consistent first 11 and they are aggressive. So, take of that what you will from whoscored.com. But yeah, they have no strength. So, it's a nice reading that. Leeds have a tremendous record against Barnsley, just via 2 losses from the last 9 meetings with 6 draws and 1 win. Indoors. The last time we lost at home to Barnsley was on the 26th of November 2011, where we lost 2-1. We, of course, beat them 2-0 at their place earlier in the season, back in September 15th, 2019, if you want the exact date. We will. Do you think we will do the double over them, Charles? What's your score prediction for Thursday's game?
I think we will do the double over them. Yeah, it was NkGhTg off a free kick, and it was a click penalty down at their place, wasn't it, earlier in the season? I can't see us not winning this game. I'm prepared to look like a mug saying that because I think it just we've got to beat them. Surely we've got to beat them. I think we've got one of the easiest run-ins in the entire. I think West Brom have got something similar. I think we've got one of the easiest run-ins. We've got to just turn them over.
Yeah. So, score prediction?
I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds.
2-0. Well, you know what? After Wigan thrashed Hull 8-0 at home, and you mentioned earlier, Stoke beat Barnsley 4-0. We beat Stoke 5-0. So I'm confident. I'm going to go with a 9-0 win. 9-0 to Leeds.
Right, mate. I'll be delighted.
9-0 to win. 9-0 win to Leeds, I'm going to go for. But we should definitely get the job done. We're top, they're bottom. We should. It should be an easy 3 points on Thursday, really. So hopefully Leeds United can get the job done on Thursday, I should say. Let's now look ahead to Sunday's game, which sees Leeds United travel to Pride Park to take on Wayne Rooney's Derby County. Charles, wouldn't it be awesome to win the league, win promotion or win the league at Derby? How awesome would that be?
It would be fantastic. I mean, especially given they keep hiring people that we hate. So they hired Frank Lampard and then they hired Wayne Rooney. And especially given how dodgy their club is. I mean, I've seen that recently, I saw an article in The Athletic that their owner, Mel Morris, the 18 million he bought their stadium off them for, he borrowed that from a guy in France who's been done for tax dodging. So, I mean, and then you've got the drink driving incident earlier in the season. You've got the fact that Wayne Rooney's sponsored by 32 Red. That's why he wears the number 32. I mean, the amount of dodgy stuff going on at that football club is ridiculous. At the risk of, getting sued by somebody by saying that. But everything I've said there's a fact, really. So it's just, and of course, how crushed we were last year to lose them in the playoffs. I would love it if we could, win the next 2 and win the league at their ground.
Yeah, it'd be the perfect revenge from last season, really, wouldn't it? It'll be the absolute perfect revenge to, either win promotion or win the league at their place. It would just be fantastic. And it's just a shame that fans can't be there to enjoy it and the fans can't be there to rub it in the faces of all the Derby fans. Derby, they're a weird team, aren't they? Because they got off to a great start in the Project Restart, winning the first 3 games. But they haven't won any of the last 4, drawing 1 and losing 3. So, they're very inconsistent. They lack quality. And, we really should be beating these lot, Charles.
Yeah, I saw their game against Brentford, and whenever Derby had the ball, the plan was just to pass it to Wayne Rooney and try and get him to find a pass over the top or through the lines. And as soon as Brentford just started pressing him relentlessly, he just didn't do anything. I mean, in the last game, we're recording this on Wednesday, so Tuesday night they played Cardiff away, I think. And Wayne Rooney basically, it was 2-1, I think. Yeah, Rooney got robbed by Lee Tomlin on the halfway line. I mean, can you imagine two fatter blokes playing football against each other? He got robbed by Lee Tomlin on the halfway line. And instead of turning around like you would expect a professional footballer to do and run after him to try and get the ball back, he just turned around, put his hands in the air. Tomlin just ran through and scored immediately. So if I was a Derby fan watching a player that not be that bothered to that extent, then I'd be slightly worried about top of the league Leeds coming down to play them. So I'm confident in that game as well. Yeah,
and Wayne Rooney. Let's talk about him for a minute because what a weird player. He's gone from being England's and Manchester United's top goal scorer to being a central defensive midfielder for Derby County in the Championship. So he's had a weird career as Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney since arriving at Derby, he's done very little, hasn't he, to improve them? He's done very little there.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think when he got there, they were 17, so he's managed to drag them up a few places in the table. They've gone up to 9th or 10th or whatever they are right now.
Yeah, they are 10th on their 61 points.
So yeah, he's dragged them up a little bit, but fundamentally they're not a good team, and one man can't drag you from 17 to the playoffs, unless that man's name is Pablo Hernandez. But the fact is that he's past his best as Wayne Rooney, and if we put pressure on him and harass him and with intensity in that game, we will beat Derby because they have nothing else.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Waghorn's back for that game, which is a bit irritating. I think he's finished his suspension now. He's a decent player. He used to play for Ipswich, didn't he? And he's been okay for Derby. We've got Chris Martin who scored against us at Elland Road, but I can't see many threats coming at us. I think if we turn up and play to a decent standard, then I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. Mentioning Derby's position in the table, Philip Koku's side are 10th on 61 points, 6 points off of the top 6 with 2 games to go. So realistically, they're not going to make the playoffs. So they have nothing to play for, the Derby, nothing to play for really. They lack quality. They've lost all the quality from last season of Derby. They're an aging team, and we should be beating these lot. What game are you expecting on Sunday against Derby? Because I think Derby, the players are of a fair age. I can't see them being able to cope with the high intensity we play at. They couldn't even cope with us last season. Of course, apart from the second leg in the playoffs, which we won't remind ourselves of. But I don't think Derby will be able to cope against us this season.
They've got a few young players. That night, the guy, I think he's right back. He plays or right wing or whatever. He's all right. They've got Sibley up front. He's obviously kind of touted as the next best kind of EFL youngsters. They've got a little bit of talent in there, but they're going to be on the beach. I think the game, how they play, they're on the beach already because they've got nothing to play. They can't really reach the playoffs. It'd be very difficult for them to reach the playoffs. For how we play, I think it will depend on how the Barnsley game goes. If we were to lose the Barnsley game or draw the Barnsley game, I think we'll be really well up for it, and we'll properly go after them. If everything goes well and the Barnsley game is the kind of the coronation moment, as it were, or even just the promotion moment, then I can see us maybe not taking the game as seriously. I think Bielsa will just insist we batter them anyway out of respect to the league or whatever. So I think it very much depends on how the Barnsley game goes. I'm not willing to say how we're going to perform until I know how we've done this week. Because if we win on Thursday, that will affect how we play on Sunday. I think it just will.
Yeah, 100%. Let's of course have a look at whoscored.com and what they say about Derby County. So Derby, according to whoscored.com, are very strong at shooting from direct free kicks, very strong creating long shot opportunities, strong at attacking down the wings, strong at stealing the ball from the opposition. They are weak at stopping opponents from creating chances, weak at defending against long shots, weak at defending against skillful players, weak at avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, and weak at avoiding individual errors, and very weak at defending counter-attacks. Derby style of play, they attack through the middle, play possession football, take long shots, do short passes, playing in their own half, and aggressive. Again, I'm not sure playing in their own half is exactly a style of play a team really hopes for. But take of that what you will from whoscored.com. Moving on to Leeds United's record against Derby County. We have lost one of the last 6 meetings against them. We, of course, beat them 3 times last season, with 2 of those coming away from home in that 4-0 win and that 1-0 win. Just a shame we couldn't do it. Couldn't beat them a 4th time, but we'll move on. Will we get our revenge here, do you think? What's your score prediction for Sunday's game at Derby?
It's difficult because I actually think they'll score in this game. I think it'll be a 2-1 victory for Leeds.
I'll go 3-1. I reckon we'll get the job done. I reckon it'll be 2 wins this week, and we'll be lifting the trophy at some point. I'm really confident. Other games to look out for this weekend: Huddersfield play West Brom on Friday night at 5:30 p.m. and Stoke play Brentford on Saturday. There's no point mentioning the Fulham game because they can't catch us, so they're irrelevant right now. Friday night, Huddersfield versus West Brom and Stoke versus Brentford on Saturday. But you know what, really? The games don't really matter because we're going to win both our games this week and we're going to win the league, aren't we?
I certainly hope so. Huddersfield will not want to do us a favour by beating West Brom. I'd also like to find that out. They'll happily lose that game so we don't go up. What's the other one? Stoke are playing Brentford. Yeah, Stoke will get battered by Brentford. So we kind of have to win our games. Yeah,
and we will. We'll win both our games, win promotion, and potentially win the league. So hopefully United can get the job done. Hopefully United can pick up 2 wins from 2 this week. So that brings us to the end of episode 70 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
Yeah, really appreciate you joining me as always, Charles. And thank you to everyone who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you are listening on there. Just go do it now. Even if you're not listening on there, just go over to Apple Podcasts if you have an iPhone and just give us a 5-star rating. Just do it. Share the podcast around as well. It really does help us out, and we really do very much appreciate it. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. If you are watching on YouTube and Facebook, it's all scrolling down at the bottom of the screen right now. So make sure to follow us on social media. We are All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. We are All Things Leeds on Facebook and YouTube. So make sure to follow and subscribe as well. Charles and I will be back next week, a little bit earlier next week, as of course Leeds United play Charlton on Wednesday. So we're back on Tuesday next week, hopefully. So until then, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.